In a world where kindness is often overshadowed by the rush of everyday life, there are rare moments that remind us that true heroes walk among us. Today's story is about one such hero, Keanu Reeves, who, with one simple act of kindness, changed the life of a struggling young woman forever. What he did at a small, roadside gas station will leave you speechless and perhaps inspire you to spread kindness in your own way. It was a chilly evening on the outskirts of Los Angeles, the kind of night where the sky glowed a deep purple and the streetlights flickered in the distance. Keanu Reeves, dressed in his signature understated style, dark jeans, a hoodie, and that ever-familiar beanie, pulled into a small, nearly empty gas station. He was on his way back from a long shoot, exhausted but craving a late-night coffee. As he stepped out of his car, something caught his eye. Behind the counter of the station's convenience store stood a young woman, no older than her early 20s. Her uniform was slightly oversized, and her tired eyes revealed more than just the exhaustion of a long shift. But what stood out the most? Her rounded belly, a sign of the new life she carried within her. She was heavily pregnant. The bell jingled as Keanu stepped into the store, a faint radio playing in the background. He noticed the way she moved, slowly, cautiously, as if every step was a struggle. The shelves behind her were half-stocked, and she was doing her best to organize them in between serving customers. "Long shift tonight?" he asked softly. "Yeah, you could say that. Just a few more hours to go." Her voice was steady, but there was a weariness behind it. Keanu could see the weight of responsibility pressing down on her shoulders. He glanced at her name tag, Emily, and then at the stack of receipts she was handling, the register barely balancing its numbers. "No one helping you out tonight?" he asked. "Nope, just me. My coworker called in sick, and well, the bills don't pay themselves." She chuckled softly, trying to mask her exhaustion. Keanu felt a pang of empathy. He knew hardship. He had lived through loss, through loneliness. And in that moment, standing in that quiet gas station, he saw a reflection of his own past struggles in Emily's eyes. Most people would have bought their coffee and left. But Keanu? He wasn't most people. He looked around the store, noticing the bare essentials on the shelves. He made a quiet decision. "Tell you what, Emily, ring up whatever groceries you need. Consider it my treat." Emily's hands froze over the register. She blinked at him, confused. I can't let you do that. It's too much. Trust me, it's not. And you deserve it. You and the little one." A lump formed in Emily's throat. No stranger had ever offered her kindness like this before. But before she could refuse again, Keanu had already started filling a basket. Milk, bread, fresh fruit, baby formula. Necessities that she had been budgeting for, unsure if she could afford them all before her next paycheck. The register beeped as the items were scanned, the soft rustling of paper bags filling the quiet store. As he paid, Emily couldn't hold back her tears. She wiped them quickly, laughing at herself. "You have no idea how much this means to me." "I think I do. And you're going to be an amazing mother, Emily." She swallowed hard, nodding. And in that moment, something shifted, not just in her, but in Keanu too. A simple act of kindness, but one that carried a world of meaning. As Keanu turned to leave, he paused. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small, neatly folded paper, and handed it to Emily. "Call this number tomorrow. Tell them Keanu sent you." Confused, Emily unfolded the paper as he drove away. Her breath hitched as she read the words. Job opportunity, full benefits. It was a contact for a well-paying job with maternity support. A fresh start. A chance to build a future. Emily stood there for a long moment, gripping the paper tightly. The weight of the moment settled in. She had spent months worrying about how she would provide for her baby, how she would balance work and motherhood, how she would make ends meet. And now, in the most unexpected way, hope had appeared. The next morning, she made the call. A kind voice answered on the other end, already aware of her situation. By the end of the week, she had an interview scheduled. And just a month later, she started her new job, a stable position that offered her security, benefits, and the promise of a better future for her child. Months passed, and Emily gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. She often thought about the night she met Keanu Reeves, the night her life took a turn she never saw coming. She kept a framed picture of that small, neatly folded paper as a reminder of the kindness that had changed everything. Keanu never looked for recognition. He never mentioned that night in interviews or sought credit for what he did. Because, for him, kindness wasn't about acknowledgement. It was about making the world just a little bit better. Years later, Emily found herself in a position to help another struggling mother, and she did so without hesitation. Because she knew, better than anyone, how a single act of kindness could ripple through time, changing lives in ways no one could predict. Keanu Reeves didn't just buy groceries that night. He didn't just give a helping hand. He gave hope. In a world where kindness can feel rare, his act was a reminder that sometimes the smallest gestures can have the biggest impact. So tell me, if you had the chance to change someone's life with a single act of kindness, would you take it? Because, as Keanu showed us that night, it only takes one moment to make a difference. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let's spread kindness, one story at a time.